Well, hello again everybody. It's been absolutely ages since I did anything with the airbrush, so it's about time we got back on with something. Now, as you may remember, I've got that spare tank for the Mutt that Chaz got for me to paint, and I've also got a helmet that Chaz wants me to paint, but I want to do a little test panel of an idea I've got for the tank first, just to see if it works well, because obviously I use a lot of materials and time preparing the tank, and I don't want to have a sort of a poor idea put on there, so I want to try it out first. So I've got this panel that's already been flaked and cleared over with these silver holographic flakes, and you can hopefully see the colour shift in them. So I'm going to start off with that, and what it really needs first is that top layer of clear flattening down a bit. So I'm going to start with some 400 grit paper. Right, I've got that all thoroughly dried off, and you can see it looks a little bit dull because it is just coarse sanded, but it feels nice and smooth. There's no sort of heavily rough spots, so I'm pretty happy that's a good surface to tape and paint on. So the first thing I want to do is put a nice wide border around the edge. Okay, actually I've decided not to round the corners off. It takes out too much really, so I'm going to take this curved bit off and straighten it out again. Now I'm going to do a finer line just inside that line. Actually, you know, I might do it outside just for a bit of a change. Right, next thing I want to do is spray a little bit of candy gold. So I'll just set up the table for spraying. Now I want to mask off the inside part there where I want my silvery design to be, because I just want to spray the gold around the outside. I'm just going to use ordinary bit of A4 to do that. Right, now let's spray on some of that candy gold, and this is a solvent candy gold, so we're going to have the extract on and wear the respirator. Now I'm going to add a couple of thinner stripes in each side. the halfway point on the short edges and 2 third way points, or perhaps sort of arbitrary points of set distance from the end, might be better than even thirds, on the long edges. See what happens when I start doing it. Well, it's the next day now, and the next stage is to add some twiddly bits to those borders, I think. That was a bit of a mission. Anyway, now I'm going to set up the spray area and spray that border black, so it should just pick out those gold taped lines, hopefully. You'll see what I mean. That a few minutes to dry. Now I'm going to take the majority of that tape off, apart from the blue tape around the main centre bit.
I'm taping you. I've no idea. Don't leave that in.
Well, there we are. So far, so good, really. There are a couple of little spots where we've got, I guess, what might be called holidays, where the tape has pulled up just a little bit of the surface there. I think that might be due to, perhaps, again, a little bit of poor preparation of the steel beforehand, perhaps. But overall, I'm fairly pleased with that so far. Right, it's a couple of days later now, and what I want to do is put a nice swirly pattern onto the centre of that plate. So I'm going to try and do that with the fine line tape. Now I'm going to use the Ultra Mask material to cut out some leaf and ball kind of shapes. Right, now I'm going to put a lace pattern in for the background on that, and to do that I'm going to secure the lace over with the magnets and just spray over with the black. But I've got to mask off the edge bits that we painted the other day first as well. Right, giving that a couple of minutes just to dry a little bit. Now let's take that lace off and see what it looks like. Go around the edges and put like a little shadow drop in, and a shadow drop over everywhere that I've taped, and that should give it a little bit of definition. Again, we'll leave that a couple of minutes to harden off, and then we should be able to remove all the tape and masking. Let's give it a shot, eh? I'm now just going to go in and add a little bit more detail in with the airbrush to give it a little bit of relief. There we go, there is the finished design ready for clear. I think what I could have done better is I might have just put the gold candy over that design I did when before I put the lace on, and then that would give that a gold and that stand out better. I think might do that on the finished tank maybe. I don't know. I'm quite pleased with it though. It's certainly a good first attempt. But it's not been cleared yet, so we need to clear it first. Well, it's Saturday now, and it's a terrible day for painting outside really. It's sort of cold and damp and all the things you don't really want for painting. But can't really apply a thick, clear lacquer in the house. So I've come out to the garage to see what I can do. Well, I've got my hot air gun set up to blow at a low heat just onto the artwork there, just to provide a little bit of background heat and to drive off some of the moisture. And as usual, I've got my lacquer warming up in a bucket of nice warm water. Before I go too much further though, I'm just going to give it a wipe over with a tack rag to get rid of any dust and bits and pieces. Right, you know the drill for the next bit by now. I just give it a very light flash over to start off with. Leave that about 20 minutes, 25 minutes or so to harden up, and then increasingly heavier layers till we get to a nice flow coat over the top. Let's give it a go. I'm going to wear the respirator. I've got the garage door closed, and this is obviously a solvent lacquer. Now what I'm noticing with this at the moment is we've got some areas of cloudiness. Now it could be we're just not driving enough moisture out of the air with this hot air gun. It is far from ideal conditions. I'm going to carry on. I'm going to spray a couple more heavier coats over this, and we'll see if we can polish that out. You never know. This is after all just a trial piece, so it's not the end of the world if it goes wrong, but it would be nice to get a nice glassy finish on it. We shall see. Well, it's the evening of the next day, and you can see that milkiness is still in the clear coat. I'm not really very optimistic we'll be able to get rid of that, but I'm just going to have a quick go at polishing it out, and we'll see what happens. Yeah, as predicted, those milky sections in the clear coat really didn't go away, but you can see the effect I was aiming for. So this was supposed to be a trial piece, so I'm not too broken-hearted about that milkiness in the clear coat, and we have learnt quite a few useful things. The first, of course, being that it's absolutely pointless trying to spray clear coat outside when it's cold and wet. And of course, we have learnt that the overall idea does work pretty well. I think though, if I do use this sort of idea again, I would paint these bits gold candy. The lace effect stuff I would do in gold so that the silver scroll bits stand out better. And if I put it up against the motorcycle tank, you can perhaps get a rough idea of the effect I'm looking for. It does also perhaps highlight the need to get better facilities for spraying in the bad weather, and there are a few ideas going around about that. Anyway, hopefully you enjoyed that, even though it didn't turn out particularly well. I have always said I'll show you the failures as well as the successes. So yeah, better luck next time maybe. Well, that's all for now. If you enjoyed this video, please share it with your friends. Give the like button a press. And don't forget to subscribe if you want to see some more.